It's a story we've all heard before. The Queen of the Beavers wants a new bridge.
We're playing Kingdom Crossing by Sorry We Are French. Welcome to BoxedMeeples. I'm Libby, this is Julian, and yes, today we are playing Kingdom Crossing from Sorry We Are French. It's very kindly sent to us from Hachette UK.
This game is very much in the camp of cute, crittery games that kind of have hidden complexity about them. This isn't a children's game, despite what the box might look like.
Yes, it definitely has some strategic choices in there, but let's see how it plays.
Well, it turns out the Queen of the Beavers really did want her 8th bridge. 7 wasn't just enough for her. And bridges are kind of a key part of Kingdom Crossing.
Yes, as you're playing, you'll realise the more bridges, the better, for sure. You have 7 paw prints on your board, and in each of the rounds, you're going to be taking actions and using those paw prints to cross the bridges to get to different areas on the board. Problem being, you can only cross each bridge once. So you can probably get to a different area a couple of different ways, but then have you penned yourself in?
Yep.
And you really have to think carefully about which of your action cards you're going to use with the number of paw prints you have to travel on it. It's very specific in terms of how far you can travel.
More, can't do less.
Using those. Knowing that once you've got to that sort of clearing, that area on the board, you're going to have to be able to do something that's there. There are cards there that you're going to be able to sort of take over into your board, but some of them require paying for. So if you haven't got the cash, then you can't really end your turn in that space. And you're going to be wanting to look for different things. So is it even a benefit for you to go to the ones that you can actually get to? It's a fun puzzle.
At its heart, this game is like a tableau builder. You'll be collecting up the cards from the various meadows and whatever they're called around the board to build up your own personal board. Ideally, you want sets of 2 of each different colour, because at the beginning of each turn, you'll be able to activate these for resources, for coins, for other benefits. There are objectives to meet as well. So you're going to have to collect a certain amount of resources, do a certain amount of things to make the Queen happy, to get one of the Queen's favours, because then that's going to give you endgame bonuses, which will magnify and multiply the points that you have on your tableau.
Yeah, there's so many layers of either gaining points or building an engine that are going to be useful to you on every turn. And each time you're only going to have 4 actions every round. So the real puzzle here is how to do things effectively, how to not run out of money, how to maximize your benefits. Like, can you take a card that has one of the bird tokens on it, which is going to give you a nice little bonus? Can you do something that will give you an upgrade so you can turn over your action tiles and get a slightly better version of them? Can you end up getting another one of your houses out, and can you then end your round where one of your houses are? There are so many little things that are going to get you a bonus. If you can get your resources up to the top of the track, that's going to get you another bonus. So I feel like every turn is a crunchy decision.
Yeah, and you're, like you're saying, you're only making 4 of these turns, and if you haven't got the resources you need, you haven't got the money to do them, sometimes you have to do just generate money, which really does feel like a wasted one of those 4 turns, because you do have to have optimal play. And on top of that, you're collecting those flowers, you're collecting statues to score on your board. And also you want to advance your resources collectively, because then you're going to score end game points. There's so many approaches you have to consider when you are moving around, and you can't do them all. You have to really go, okay, well, at the moment, I'm going to focus on that. And that's when the interplay between the players comes in. Because if someone has then moved to the location that you desperately picked up something you desperately need, you're going to have to quickly think on your feet and go, okay, where do I go now? Because I can't go back over the bridge I've just been on. And is it better for me to take the long route and go over several bridges, which will use up more paw prints and therefore maybe generate more end of kind of turn points? Or will that limit where I'm able to go on following turns? It's actually quite restrictive on the board. So although it does seem like there's many different routes, those bridges really do control where you can go to get the things you need. And that's not often seen in these kind of games where you're moving around a board.
Yeah, and even in terms of like the income you were saying, you're going to be moving up a track in terms of how much you can earn. Obviously, you don't want to take your income too early. You want to maximize how many coins you can get back before you reset. But at the end of the game, the higher you are up that track, the more end game points you're going to have. So towards the end of the game, you even have that dance between, you know, what shall I maximize what I can actually do on my turn? Or am I actually better to just scrimp and save for that last turn, not get the money, and try and push that up even further for endgame points? I think it's really interesting, this gaining the pairs to be able to activate for different benefits at the beginning of the turns on your tableau, because invariably you're looking for either a full set to get another house out, which does give you some nice benefits, some in-game scoring. You get another one of the Queen's sort of tiles that give you the end-game scoring. When you get the houses out, you can see on the board that there might only be one stag or one fox or one boar card there that you know that you can afford and you can get to. And as you were saying, if that then gets taken, your whole tactic turns around. And if you've, for example, upgraded one of your action tiles, and that maybe is the one that lets you sort of double the benefit of a bird, of course you're trying to get to that to make sure you make the most of that. But then you also need to do this other thing to maybe get this boar card to match up to get a pair. Which do you do first? Is someone going to swoop in and get the thing you want? Probably. I mean, probably are.
Because there is so many different scoring potentials, there is a chance to do that scoring combo of getting, you know, the scoring goal and multiplying that by many cards that you do have, or say you've got a lot of the birds. And there is the option of, if you get completely stuck, of being able to summon the balloon, which would be able to take you to another locations, but that will cost you lots of money. Can you even afford to do that?
But it will also allow you to put another paw print out, which will gain you more points. So if you manage to get all your paw prints out, you're basically going to get 7 points that round. So it can be worth using the balloon just to spend the coin to gain the points.
Now, with so much going on, it can be a bit tricky to get going with this game. The rulebook isn't necessarily the best, but that being said, we do learn often by watching videos on how to play, which we weren't able to because there wasn't any content on this yet. So we did struggle with the rules to actually get going, but once we did, by the second term I clicked into place, and that's when you realise that the more you play it, the longer you spend working out the scoring options, the combos you can do, the more there is to love here.
Yeah, I don't think they are complicated rules. I just think there's a few nuance in translation that could be improved slightly, because I don't think it's a difficult game to pick up and get all the ideas of at all. It's actually quite intuitive, I think, in some ways in terms of how it plays. It's just all that crunchy decision that makes it so much fun to play.
Yeah, it's quite, once you get the hang of all the terminology and all the feelings, obviously this looks beautiful on the table. Some really fantastic art that certainly has been inspired by Everdell. It feels very much like almost part of that universe. Obviously it isn't, but it does feel like it could be. It has been an influence on this, but that's just made it look even more lovely on the table. Yeah,
I really appreciate having another kind of cozy vibe game that actually doesn't take a huge amount of time. I mean, we played it at 2 players, and it felt like it gave me a similar kind of weeknight playtime and crunch to something that I love, like a White Castle.
Yeah, I certainly think we're going to be tabling this quite a lot because it has that crunchy decision, quick playtime, and a beautiful world to be a part of. But have you heard of Kingdom Crossing? Do let us know in the comments down below, or have we introduced you to a new game?
Yeah, we would love to know. And if you've got any other suggestions for cozy vibes, autumnal, crunchy weeknight games, we would love to hear from you. And of course, if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, we would also love it if you would do that, as it really does help us out. If you are looking to buy board games, then we always recommend that you go to your friendly local game store. For us here in the southeast of England, that is, as usual, Chaos Cards. They do have a discount code in our description here that you can use on their online store to save yourself a few pennies at the checkout.
But as always, thanks so much for watching.
Bye.